What's going on, guys? So, we have the first game of week 4 that I'm recording, not necessarily the first game of week 4 for the week. I'm like 95% sure that was done by Finch, because Finch is always number one. Even when he's, well, actually, no, I always tease he was at number 2. So, shout out to Finch. But, oh, yeah, we got Ladybug here, just a DPP legend for being extremely creative in team building. You never really know what to expect from Ladybug. He was sort of the innovator of the Hail style, which is like Nido Queen, Bold Starmie, just that type of team. I remember he's the team way back when, with like Spiritomb and Walrein. And then one of my first DPP teams was actually a variation of that, but with Hariyama on there. Anyways, I'm just rambling. And then we got Tamahome over here, another very good DPP player. So let's just go ahead and get it in. Oh no, the music's on. Okay, so once again we see Ladybug invention here with Lead Cloister. That's something that you almost never see in DPP OU. That's more of an ADV thing. Even then, not as a lead. I know sometimes it's a lead in UU, but almost. I don't think I've ever seen it used in competitive play in this tier as a lead. And then obviously Ironhead can potentially flinch. Doesn't go for Ironhead though. At least when I think of Cloister as a lead in this gen, I think of like the Spike Suicide lead set. It's like Spike's Rapid Spin, Explosion, and then like Payback. That's what I think of. Or sometimes they'll run like Ice Shard over Rapid Spin. Or sometimes they'll throw in like Toxic Spikes or something. That's what I think of. So I'm surprised that Tamahome went for the Body Slam and not the Ironhead. So we see Rotom, and then Ladybug tries to Willow Jirachi. But we instead see Blissey come in, so that might imply a stall from Tamahome. So rocks go up. Are we going to see Cloister spin? That's what I would assume. Maybe, though, because then you have to sacrifice an attacking move. So, I actually don't know if this Cloister's going to Rapid Spin. I feel like that's would be like its main advantage over something like Frostlass, which does a lot of things that Cloister does besides Rapid Spin and Explode. So, and even then you have Destiny Bond. So there goes down Spikes. Tamahome reveals Starmie. Very popular DPP mon, although it's gone down in popularity quite a bit, as people have learned that Starmie can get taken advantage of pretty easily, and not to use it as a crutch on every single team. There's the Life Orb. I didn't expect that. I expected Focus Sash from the Cloister. But Life Orb Payback does quite a bit. Like I said, paybacks are usually intended for ghosts because of the way payback works in this gen. But Starmie is quite nice too, especially because it's the most popular spinner. So, yeah, Cloister's just gonna hit Starmie with a payback, and now Rotom comes in on the recover. It's bulky Rotom though, so I'm not too sure what this is gonna accomplish. Maybe Ladybug just predicted Thunderbolt. Although I think that payback probably indicates that Starmie is carrying a fair amount of bulk. So I don't think you're really fearing Thunderbolt. I feel like you just go for another payback right there on either the predicted recover or just eat up a Surf. Even though that Surf will probably still take quite the chunk out of you because Cloister's Spadef is garbage. But anyways, that's besides the point. So Rotom's gonna Willow. Predicting Jirachi or T-Tar or some mon of that nature, as Starmie's gonna Surf, takes 25% out of Rotom. Not too much, but I don't think this is a Rest Talk Rotom, just because it has Willow. Most of the Rest Talk sets are Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Rest Talk. Sometimes they can be Thunderbolt and Will-O-Wisp with Rest Talk. But usually they aren't. Of course, it could be Pain Split. As a matter of fact, that's probably what it is. So there's Willow on Blissey, and Ladybug is really scouting for this T-Tar right here. Or maybe a Scizor or some other type of Pursuit Trapper. And there's Thunderwave from Bliss. I guess that's not the worst thing in the world. It's probably better than Toxic in this particular case, but it's just really annoying. Because Pear is always annoying, especially because Rotom, even though it's not fast, it's definitely not slow. And that Pear is just going to be annoying. And then, of course, Pear is the thing. So Blissey's probably either going to switch or soft boiled right here. Seismic Toss, never mind. I figured a soft boiled was going to come out, but Seismic Toss is, I guess, a good play too. Even though Rotom is a ghost, so I don't know. But fucking T-Tar is in here. And now Blissey's at 57%. We'll see if it gets Pursuit trapped or not, because I believe CB Pursuit would take Blissey out from 57. But if it's not CB, then Pursuit probably doesn't take it out. But Pursuit doesn't even go out anyway from Ladybug. It's actually Rockstar, so mix. At least that's what the Rockstars usually are. I've used a set that was like max HP, max speed to quite a bit of success, and then I passed that on to Finch, who used that to pretty good success in DPP when he was doing some things for Smog Tour. I think Smog Tour 19. But yeah, nearly any T-Tar. No, it was Tour 18, because then Tour 19, when Finch almost beat McMegan, is when he thought he was too good for me. So he started using other people's sets and not my sets in DPP. But that's besides the point. So we see Vaporeon from Ladybug. I ramble way too much, dude. But yeah, there's Vaporeon. So Vaporeon's also a mon that you don't see too often. Definitely not as niche as Cloyster, but Ladybug, like I said, known for innovation. And that's what we get this game. Meanwhile, we just got Jirachi, Blissey, Starmie, all pretty common ones. Surf probably comes out here. I don't imagine... Ooh, Roar, that's another good option that Vaporeon can run. Actually, that's probably Vaporeon's best option to run is Roar, because the main selling point of defensive Vaporeon outside of Wish and Wish passing is that in theory you can be Smogon or any sort of like mono water type. Starmie too, if you have some Spadef, or it's like bulky Starmie. There's Crunch and there's a Spadef drop, but yeah, Vaporeon, well, it doesn't beat Starmie all the time, like I said, just bulkier sets, but Crocoon is the main thing, especially since Ladybug's team is, I'm not really sure what it is. It's looking kind of funky so far. I would say it's balanced at the very least, so something that Crocoon can take advantage of. So Vaporeon can handle that quite easily. It's also pretty apt at, like I said, just other water types in general. But a lot of things like Gyarados and Crocoon will eventually beat you 1v1 if you're Vaporeon because of pressure and PP stalling. So Roar is nice, just shuffling around a little bit. Even though last mon, of course, Roar is not helping you, but whatever, that's besides the point. So Vaporeon, unfortunately, is at half health, and now we're gonna start to see some of the problems that Vaporeon has, which is if it can't sit in there and get a wish up, it's not looking too good for Vappy. And even though it has a lot of HP, it's deceptively frail because its stats actually aren't that high. It's just a lot of HP, which even then it's not monstrously high HP like Blissey or Lax. So Heatran's in here. We already saw Rocks on Tar, so, and no lefties, so you can assume Scarftree, even though like the Shuka sets that are just 4 attacks or 3 attacks Willow or something, I think are very nice too. I like 3 attacks Taunt. Even though that set isn't as effective as Willow, it's also pretty nice. And Ladybug is one for innovation, so we might see that. But we might assume on this team it's probably Scarftar because it's actually am I saying Scarftar? Scarftran. That actually looks pretty good on this team too, because in theory you got Spikes or Toxic Spikes from Cloyster. No, we already saw Spikes, so Spikes. And then you got some Rocks up. It looks like you can do pretty solid work. Maybe Vappy doing some shuffling. I can't help but think that Venusaur might be a little bit better in that move slot though. Even though passing wish is probably the main thing that Vappy does, but Vappy's gonna have a tough time with that because it comes in on rocks at like 40, and then well, Heatran just killed Blissey, and Ladybug hasn't missed a Fire Blast ever, so that's cool. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but this Vappy is even though Ladybug has the advantage right now, it's like Ladybug needs rocks to be successful, and Vappy is also just really weak, and T-Tar's just going to be a giant problem. So here's Rotom coming out to block Rapid Spin. It's probably going to be successful at it. Tamahome knows this, and Recover's just going to come out for him Starmie, and that's the thing that I'm trying to get at is that Cloyster will lose to Starmie. Actually, no, that's not true because bulky Starmie doesn't carry T-Bolt. Well, sometimes they do, but they usually don't. And we saw Thunder Wave earlier, so what would that be? Rapid Spin, Surf, Thunder Wave, Recover. We already know the full moveset, so there's no Thunderbolt there. So Cloyster can beat it, but at the same time, Cloyster has to come in on rocks, lose 25, and then I'm pretty sure Surf does like 20 at the minimum. And then, yeah, we see Vappy just go off for Death Fodder right here. But, yes, Starmie will... It might be Rotom. It depends on the Rotom's moveset. Because Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball... But Rotom is bulky, too, so it's not doing that much to Starmie. It's only doing, like, maybe a third or something. Probably closer to 40%. T-Tar's probably not beating Starmie because it's rocks and it's either really bulky or it's mixed, probably both. So Vappy's just gonna crunch right here. He decides to save it. Well, I mean, you can wish, but I don't know, dude. Even though Ladybug has the lead, I just think that Starmie and then whatever Tamahome has in the back is gonna not bode too well for Ladybug. And then Crunch comes out, gets a defense drop. Maybe it matters because of rules, but the first Crunch did 26, so we're going to assume that the second one didn't matter. And then I don't see any bitching in the chat, so same thing. Doesn't look like it matters. See, Flygon is the last from Ladybug. I was expecting Flygon or honestly Aerodactyl. Because, like I said, Cloyster has that ability to Rapid Spin as the lead, so maybe there's Zapdos from Tamahome. There's EQ. So we'll see what Ladybug does is this Scarf Flygon. Like I said, I think that Tran is Scarf, so it's probably like Banded Flygon. I think Aerodactyl actually would be... Actually, no. Well, I mean, you have Vappy too, so... In theory, your water's taken care of, even though Vappy isn't the best water resist in the world, or technically immunity. And then you have T-Tar and then Trance, so... I don't know about what Aerodactyl will do defensively, but, like... I think Aerodactyl would be dope on this team if you reworked some things around, and... Yeah, if you reworked a few things. But a crit comes out. We don't see Life Orb there, so that means that it's Expert Belt Flygon, which, I know some people are a fan of it. Obviously, Ladybug is, because it's being used by him, but I'm not a fan of it just because of how weak everything is. And the physical set, even, it's nice to catch people by surprise, but it's just so weak. Like, that's why nobody uses Scarf Flygon. It's just so weak. And then you lose the one thing that Scarf Flygon is good at, which is being fast. So what are you, like, EQ, Dragon Claw, Stone Edge, and then what's your last move? U-turn, probably. Even though you lose out on Thunder Punch, I feel like you might drop U-turn for Thunder Punch on that E-Belt set. I don't know though, but anyways, T-Tar goes down due to a sack. So that crit Stone Edge might actually be looking pretty good. Ooh, there's Machamp as the last. I honestly didn't expect that. I expected like a Steel, like Scarf Tran or Lucario even, maybe. Bulky Scizor. I didn't expect Machamp, but Machamp could be dangerous because it's probably going to be the subset. I really didn't expect it because usually you run these with like Spike supporter. I know there's that one team that's really bad with like T-Wave spam plus sub Machamp, which is also really good. But yeah, Vappy comes in as death fodder. Vappy can break sub, so that's nice. Isn't that a speed tie? So that's kind of lucky. Actually, no. Vappy, where's my stats? I guess I don't get to see them, but I was worried that my thing paused, but I guess it didn't. I think that should be a speed tire. My champ might even outspeed because it probably runs small amounts of speed. They usually do, like, enough to. I don't even remember what they run enough. I just know that they usually run speed. One was who's Cloister and Explosion's probable right there, and then we see that. That's what the lead sets usually run. What would the set be? Spikes, Explosion, Rapid Spin, Payback. That sounds like a solid set to me. I feel like Ladybug probably should have spun. I don't know though. I don't know. Because I don't think that at the same time though, I don't think that Cloister as a lead, like spinning is necessarily going to be its top priority. One always hears Heat Train, and then Scarf is confirmed. And here's Starmie, and at this point, Fat Starmie, unless Flygon has Thunder Punch, which I believe that Extra Belt Flygon should have Thunder Punch at all costs, in my opinion at least. Although E-Belt U-Turn is nice, Stone Edge and all that's nice, but I'm a fan. I believe that Extra Belt Flygon should have Thunder Punch. Like I said, just in my humble opinion, no defense drops from Ladybug. So if Flygon does indeed have Thunder Punch, I think Ladybug will be able to win here. Otherwise, things are going to be looking pretty grim because Rotom isn't doing shit, especially because it's paralyzed. And, well, it also depends on the Jirachi set, but paralyzed Rotom going up against Jirachi Ironhead, I don't really like those odds. Ooh, and there's a crit, and there's a surf crit. That's lame. Because Ladybug, actually, yeah, Ladybug would have just won right there if that crit didn't happen. At the same time, though, you can argue that Flygon should be dead because that Zapdos almost certainly. Well, did the Zapdos switch in? Yes, it did, I believe. Let me scroll up. No, Zapdos stayed in. It was lefties though, but that Zapdos should have lived, and then it's probably just T-Bolt's Heat Wave HP Ice Roost. Zapdos, which we can assume would take out Flygon. In fact, it almost certainly would. So you could argue that in theory that's just Tamahome getting some payback, but it's just unfortunate all around when Hacks gets involved in games, but that's just the nature of the game. So I don't see Thunder Punch right here, so that means that Ladybug is relying on an EQ crit, and I don't know how much Thunder Punch does. Let me pause for a second. I just want to calc it. I'm just curious. So as you can see right here, I'm actually surprised that the Thunder Punch doesn't do more. Doesn't Thunder Punch have like 80 base power in this gen? I guess that's 160 to 150 with EQ stab. So maybe that's not as surprising as I thought, but well, also E-Belt. Well, this is a Choice Scar set, so that's why Outrage is there, but Scarf Flygon runs Dragon Rage. But I mean, you have a decent chance for a crit, and then you get a Para too, which you know what Para can do in this game, so maybe Thunder Punch isn't quite as good in that situation. Thunder Punch is good for other situations, mainly Gyarados. Especially because if you're locked into EQ, or they think that you're locked into EQ, Gyarados might be thinking, let me get this set up real quick, and then you hit him with that Thunder Punch. And at -1, it does quite a bit of damage. I think it might kill. Doesn't it kill after rocks? I don't remember. I know. No, hold on. I'm getting off on a tangent about Thunder Punch, but I'm gonna speed this up because basically, what Ladybug is hoping for is an EQ crit, and then at this point, Tamahome can start firing off Surfs. He's just gonna recover again though. You're out full, dude. All you're doing is just waiting for a crit to happen. Um, is this bold me? I think it is. Does Dragonclaw have like a high crit rate or something? Or did he run out of EQs? What? What? God damn. That's the thing about this replays is that you can't hover over them like in the games and see the PP. But well, he didn't because he just went for EQ right there. I guess it doesn't matter. So that was still a really solid game. It's always interesting to see what Ladybug is gonna bring because it's usually something different. I don't understand what the team is supposed to accomplish, but most of us don't. But Ladybug is he's pretty special. His game, he's usually a pretty strong player. Tom is also a pretty strong player, and then he brought some balance. Is that balance or no? It's closer to balance. I'm not too sure about what Machamp is doing there. I feel like bulky Esthesis or even something like Scarftran or Lucario, like I mentioned, I think does a little bit more on that team than Machamp does. But Machamp is always scary, especially when you can get a sub up like later in the game. When you don't have as much, like when stuff's HP is lower, so you can't switch around. But that's once again just all besides the point. So yeah, GG's to both players. I think tomorrow or Sunday, depends on how lazy I am and how busy I am. I'm gonna upload my games versus BKC for RBY circuit thingy. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy and peace.